This is my first time in here.
Well, you're only probably with the most controversial White House correspondents.
And I'm actually really good at yelling because I used to be a ring announcer.
We're all biased, right? We just wear our bias, which I think is a pejorative term to begin with, on our sleeves.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm pro-Trump. The questions I ask, in my opinion, are going to help highlight the good things that he's doing for America.
The fuck is happening in America? Can someone explain? The White House has opened its doors to a new wave of media voices, new media voices, granting press credentials to several pro-Trump outlets and personalities, but like super aggressively very pro-Trump. The move has stirred the pot in Washington, or smoked the pot very likely as well, as these newcomers, often aligned with the MAGA movement, now shared the briefing room with actual journalists. CNN chatted with some of these figures, including reporters from Steve Bannon's War Room, Real America's Voice, and even My Pillow CEO Mike Lindell's Lindell TV, because what you want from your pillows is a news network. And these new media outlets have full access to the White House press briefing room, where they ask questions like this.
Will you guys also consider releasing the president's fitness plan? He actually looks healthier than ever before. Is he working out with Bobby Kennedy? And is he eating less McDonald's?
I can confirm the president is in very good shape.
Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office.
The president looks like he's in better shape than ever, and is he working out with Bobby Kennedy? I can answer that one for you. I'm not even working at the White House. No, he's not. He doesn't work out at all, except play golf a lot, which isn't really a great workout, because when you're using the cart, you know? And he doesn't look great or better than ever, and that's not a question a journalist is supposed to ask. And why aren't you wearing a suit? It was one of the most embarrassing moments in American news media history, and deeply disrespectful to our ally who's currently suffering a very brutal and very deadly war that they didn't start, but that our president pretends that they did start because he's afraid to talk any kind of towards Vladimir Putin, our actual adversary who invaded a sovereign country and is trying to remake the world order, and our president doesn't care at all to stop it. So that's pretty wild and insane, and very, very boding horribly for where our country is currently and is heading faster and faster every day. This is not exactly the kind of journalism Walter Cronkite had in mind. And look, there's nothing wrong with bringing in new media voices. The traditional media did drop the ball on a lot of things pretty badly. They did cover up Joe Biden's decline very much, and in a way that was not okay to do. And they're definitely not holding power to account in the truest and most effective and most aggressive way that they can either. They're happy to have their access and are afraid to lose it also. So having new voices come in is a good idea, but there is a problem when those voices are basically just loud fans with press passes. Hi, Mr. Trump, I have your poster on my wall. I'm just curious, would you sign it? Is not a question. And that's essentially what's happening here. What happens when Trump does something wrong, like he does nearly daily? Will these so-called journalists stick to the code of journalism and hold him accountable, or will they just keep cheering from the sidelines and hand him Diet Cokes as he tramples on our democracy even further?
You are a Trump fan, right?
Yes, I'm definitely a supporter of President Trump.
So will you be able to hold them to account then? And
I
call
would.
them out?
I will be able to hold 100% him to account. You know, I'm sure things that will happen that I disagree with, and I have said plenty of times, you know, on the record when I've disagreed with his decisions.
Is there anything so far in this administration you've disagreed with?
I'm not gonna. Let me put some thought into that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just overwhelmed with how well I perceive things to be going.
You see, the problem here, she doesn't have the ability to even think of one thing she disagrees with during a monster truck chainsaw to everything first 3 months of his administration. And there's not a thing she can critique. That's called being in a cult. That's called blindly following your guy that you're a fangirl of. And that's not the same thing as journalism. It's close. It's pretty close. But it's very also far and not at all close. Like, how are we supposed to trust these reporters won't turn every press conference into a full-blown pep rally? Simple. We cannot trust that, because they will do that. And when your starting point is fandom, not facts, the whole idea of holding power accountable goes right out the window. And now one of the new media reporters covering the White House just actually essentially, not even essentially, directly asked Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt how they should go about reporting on Trump's administration.
I'm kind of the nerd when it comes to reporting. I'm not the headline news girl. I'm the nuts and bolts. I'm the policy type nerd. So what direction do you advise kind of me to go into, like the White House files that y'all send out every single day?
Yeah.
What direction do you advise me to go in? The direction that your reporting tells you to go, the direction that your journalism tells you to take it into, that your journalistic ethics, where you don't take the exact angle from the people you are covering. That's not how journalism works, even like a little bit. A reporter's job is to question power, not to ask it for instructions. When a media figure turns to the administration they're supposed to cover and asks, how should we report on you? Just curious, asking for a friend. It's kind of dangerous. It guts the whole point of having a free and independent press in the first place, if that matters at all, which it probably doesn't. Not much really matters anymore, as our rights and freedoms and very way of life and living and running this country as a great experiment in democracy and a government by, of, and for the people crumbles before our very eyes. But other than that, how are you? A press corps that asks for marching orders isn't a press corps. It's just an extension of the propaganda. It's an extension of the campaign. It's a very sad moment in our country, but oh well. I'm Ben Gleib for Rebel HQ. You can subscribe to my podcast, Last Week on Earth. Thanks.